niggas ain't got no sense, man. Still bills, what's the deal, man? Yo, peep game, man. We got to talk about this bhop situation and how ridiculous a lot of you fanboys are when it comes to being critical of a certain PBC individual or of anybody that's representing the PBC. Let's not act like it's above Al Heyman to create semantics to get his fighter out of a certain fight. Let's not do that. Let's not act like he didn't advise Wilder to send a $50 million contract with only a 24-hour window of compliance. Let's not act like that was above Al Heyman's. That was above him to do some little goofy shit like that. Him and Team Wilder. Let's not act like that. You know what I'm saying? Let's not act like it was above Al Heyman doing, elevating Dominic Brazil to mandatory status instead of him honoring his real mandatory and Dillian White, who put in the proper work to be that #1 mandatory in that sanctioning body. Let's not do that. Let's not act like Al Heyman hasn't sat on the David Benavidez and Caleb Plant fight. Let's not do that. Let's not act like we wasn't clamoring for a Jermell Charlo versus a Jared Hurd fight that never came into fruition. Let's not act like that. Let's not do that. Let's not. What bothers me is, you dig, to go against Al Heyman is to go against black people. With a lot of you newfound boxing fans, man. But Al Heyman is the same one that froze Terrence Crawford out. They wouldn't even say that man's name on the broadcast on fight night. If it was a PBC card, Terrence Crawford's name was not getting flashed across that screen. Let's not act like he's above. He's above being reprimanded. Let's not act like that. For bhop to come out and say the shit that he said, I don't see like how it's an educated guess, not even a guess. He said he's hearing from a reliable source. The difference between us and bhop is immediately involved within that business. He has ties to Golden Boy. He is a part of Golden Boy. So why the fuck would you go against his grain in this regard? Because you are infatuated with Earl Spence. You niggas is a trip. You niggas is a trip. Me personally, I don't think that he faked an eye injury to get out of a fight because, it's to his detriment. It's to his detriment. However, what people are saying, the theory is, if Manny is to get past Uga, if Manny and Spence was to fight, because Manny is still very much so a live dog in this fight. If Manny was to beat Earl Spence and get his belt, he's going to skate up out of the PBC. But if Manny beats Ugas, all right, cool. Now that causes for a bigger fight with Earl Spence in a unification bout. So we'll have him for another pay-per-view. We'll have him for another pay-per-view instead of just one, when they need to deliver multiple pay-per-views to save this little deal they got going on with Fox, if they're even trying to salvage it. It makes perfect sense. It's not a theory that could just be thrown to the wayside like, yo, that's bullshit. Wouldn't no one do no dumb shit like that? This is boxing. It's corrupt, it's devious, it's mischievous, it's whatever you want to call it. It's dastardly, it's whatever you want to call it. It's all that and some. So it makes sense to us on the outside, it doesn't make sense to them. It's a far more sinister plot behind the scenes in a lot of situations. So how is this any different? And the fact that y'all, now listen, man, you have to learn how to saturate truth out of certain people, even if it's in a scenario, not even if it's in a scenario that they're knowledgeable in. You have to understand, all right, cool, let me put my personal reserves I have for this man to the side and allow myself to be edified by something that he's knowledgeable of or she's knowledgeable of. I hate Candace Owens with a passion, but I'm just dumbfounded when it comes to politics. I do not know how politics work. So if I was to ever find myself in her presence, which I wouldn't, or if she was just dropping game or whatever on how politics work, I'll never be in favor of anybody who's trying to sell black people to the Republican Party. I will never be in favor of that. Even though we were Republicans once upon a time. That shit doesn't work in our favor. Politics don't, especially voting on those two, up under those two banners. They don't. They're all bird, you know, they're two different, left wing, right wing, they're all on the same bird. That's how I feel about it. But I can't articulate the game of politics on the level that she can. She's highly intelligent in the field of politics. So if I ever found myself, all right, let's hear what she has to say. It just so happens that every time I hear what she has to say, she's trying to sell people back to or sell the Republican Party to black people. And she's berating a lot of our voices and people who are trying to make a change within black society. She's berating them. You dig? So it's very demonstrative how she comes off in her tone and everything. But if it was ever a scenario where she's just breaking down politics, that would be all right, cool. Let me, I'd humble myself, possibly, and go. Not even possibly. I just hate her. I hate her. But if ever it was a situation that presented itself and we were on the subject of politics, I'd have no other choice but to humble out and listen to what this bitch has to say. Because she completely exceeds my expertise in politics. That's just what it is. When you talk about bhop, we are on the outside looking in. We're fans. We're consumers and connoisseurs of the sport. A lot of us. Some of us. I won't even say a lot of us. I'll say some of us. A lot of you bitch ass niggas is just niggas who just here due to the Young Pharaoh video. So when you talk about a cat like bhop, who is immediately attached to Golden Boy, why wouldn't you listen to what he has to say? bhop is not a dude you would go to. It's like, all right, man, like, I need a role model to look to for a black man who's unapologetic about who he is and isn't going to sell himself out to keep, you know, to stay in favor of these white executives over here in this particular field. I'm not about to sell myself out for $1. bhop isn't the nigga to go to for that. Because after the shit with Al Heyman, that's proven. He's not a dude as far as, you know, just restoring integrity and being a black man in corporate America, nah. Or just corporate anything. Nah, he's not the man to go to for that. Not bhop. He's proven it. He's proven it. So in that regard, no, I can't take you serious in that. I wouldn't go to you for that. I wouldn't go to you and be like, yo, man, how do you do it? How do you maintain your level of blackness amongst all these white, in the sea of white faces in the corporate world? How do you do that? He's not the guy for that. He's not the guy for that. But if I go to him and I say, man, all right, well, teach me the inner workings of boxing. Not just what goes on, not just what transpires in the ring, but what goes on the outside of it. The business, the ugly, and, you know, the ugly of it. That's what I want to learn about. That's a space where you can confide in him at. But because, nigga, like, let's not act like Al Heyman is just this benevolent being who can do no wrong. We got to stop doing that shit, man. Yes, he's a prosperous black man, and he's feeding black fighters over there. Yes. But those black fighters, they're good. He's good to the black fighters within that stable. What about the black fighters on the outside? What about Demetrius Andre? What about Bud? You understand what I'm saying? What about them? What about Devin Haney? What about all of these other black fighters who are on the outside looking in? Fuck, what about Anthony Joshua? What about Dillian White? Why does it have to stop with the Americans? Are we all not black? That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about right there. But y'all are so just fixated on the fact that, oh man, the PBC, that's a brother, that's a black man. I don't know how many times I heard the term, we gotta stay on code from you bitch ass niggas. It's sickening. Because this is boxing. This is boxing. It isn't politics on a major level that's going to affect the collective of the people. And they're not doing anything to present, all right, cool, we got to be codified on this. I'm not seeing no Ali-esque type behavior from these motherfuckers. I'm not. I'm seeing a lot of pampered, spoon-fed, soft matchmaking ass niggas who are, you know, just being a black champion is enough. That's all I'm seeing over there on the PBC side. It's a beautiful thing for black men to eat over there. It's dope. It is dope. And it's even doper that a black man is feeding them. They get into the bag off of a black man. That shit is beautiful. That is a beautiful thing. That is lovely. But he does a lot of fuckery. So I don't think it should be. I don't think he's above, you know, above this particular situation in regards to Spence and Manny Pacquiao. If that shit comes to be true, and from what bhop is saying, he's like, I'm hearing from a reliable source. So to throw niggas off of the scent of what bhop is on, y'all would throw some slanderous ass shit that transpired between him and Al Haymon, or his company and Al Haymon 5 and 6 years ago. That shit is corny. That shit is corny. We can hold bhop accountable for that. Most definitely. I ain't saying don't get your foot off his neck for that. Get on his ass for that. Get on his ass for that. Not for him exposing certain truths allegedly that's going, you know, surrounding this situation. Y'all want to talk all this codification shit, man? Like, government agencies do shit like this, man. When you get hit to them too much and the shit, they, you know, the little devious shit they do behind the scenes, they'll toss out some bullshit on the motherfucker that's exposing them to throw you off of the scent. So instead of the valid arguments and facts that you've presented to the public, you're fixated on him cheating on his wife. You're fixated on him being a closeted gay man. You're fixated on that. Anything to take you away from the truth. And y'all are so fixated on Al Haymon that y'all will allow bhop's cooning to take y'all away from that. No, you can be critical of bhop as far as that particular situation is concerned, but this situation right here, you have, you know, we a week out. Earl Spence talking about it was my left eye, but in the photo he has a patch over his right eye. All of that shit has to be brung into question. What the fuck is going on? He was getting crashed in sparring. It could have been, yo, he ain't ready for Manny Pacquiao, or he could have got injured in sparring. Me personally, I don't think it's a hoax. I think that injury is a legitimate injury. I do. But that's my opinion. And my opinion could be steeped in facts. It could be an actual fucking factual that man is legitimately injured. He's legitimately injured. That very much so could just be the case. And I like to think that it is. But if life has taught us nothing else, is that you have to remain skeptical on damn near everything. People with fake injuries, they have faked getting an illness that shut an entire planet down for well over a year that we're just now starting to come out of. People would fake that shit. The same illness that has killed thousands of people in this country. People are, oh man, I got COVID, I can't fight. I got COVID, I can't fight. Just completely disregarding the fact that there's people out here suffering from loved ones dying today. I got homies who done lost loved ones to that shit. And the fact that they would even take that shit and play with it, like I said, it's insensitive. It's real insensitive. But people don't give, niggas is cutthroat. They don't care. So it's not like it's just unfathomable that somebody would play with, oh man, I got an injury. I have an eye injury. It's not unfathomable that a promoter would tell those fighters that, yo, man, yeah, we got to get you up out of here, man. Fake an injury, because it's, you know, I know you need this fight, but it's for the greater good of the company. How is that out of the question for somebody to do some shit like that? But once again, because it's Al Haymon, Nobody care. Oh man, Al Heyman wouldn't do that. Al Heyman. Like, when is it enough to where it's like, all right, bro, like, yeah, what you are doing is marvelous for the people, but you are still making mistakes along the way. You're still making mistakes along the way. Everybody want to be woke now. You don't think, look at all the women that's coming out during the civil rights movement, and they're saying how chauvinistic and misogynistic a lot of the brothers were from back in the day. Our voices of the Panthers, look at how they're saying that we had a lot of chauvinistic brothers who was on, frontlining. They didn't, for a woman to take charge at a march or at a speech, it was real uncomfortable and unsettling to them. Why is he above this shit? Why is he above being criticized? Why is he above criticism? Why is he above that? Not Al Heyman. No. Al Heyman ain't capable of doing that. Not Al Heyman. Not him. No. It can't be Al Heyman. You see what he doing over there for them black men? You see what he doing for them brothers over there? He's doing good work on behalf of the brothers in that stable. In that stable. I don't think nobody can deny that. But shit, even look at Adrian Broner with him coming out and banging on Al Heyman. An allowance? I'm a grown-ass man who puts his life on the line to get in here and entertain the people. You think I'm about to be relegated to $1,000 a week allowance? With that nigga's budget? With what he does, as much as he like to floss and be in the strip club, chains nigga be all icy and shit, $1,000, man, please. It's not enough that, it's just enough that it's a black man doing it. So if it's a black man, just like, y'all are just so, y'all are content with as long as he's black. Like I said before, y'all are content with a lot of the champions over there fighting the meager opposition that they fight, as long as they're a black champion. If you're black and you're a champion, cool, that's all you need to be successful. Cool, you got my undying support, despite the fact that you're not fighting the best of opposition to call out the fighters that you are calling out. And you won't fight any other fighter who is on your level because you think you're above him. You're above reproach, and y'all won't hold him accountable for that shit. Y'all won't. Because it's enough to be a black champion. It's enough for a black man to, he's running the company. He's running the PBC, we eating, all right, cool. But now what about the greater good of the sport? What about the sport? Like, this is, like, come on, man. He does goofy shit. He does. Who doesn't want to see Jermall Charlo fight Demetrius Andre? Who doesn't want to see that? He was clamoring for a Benavidez and Caleb Plant fight. Those are big fights. Possible pay-per-views. Possible pay-per-views. You had Wilder turn down $100+ million. In 3 fights, he would have made more than he's made in his entire career. You would have him turn that down for what exactly? Like I said before, man, I had people tell me, man, stop trying to appease these white folks because Gervonta Davis is a 3-division world champion. How? He does gang goofy shit over there, and he doesn't. It's like he's above reproach over there because he's a black man. He's a black. And we are by nature, we are a virtuous people. There's no reason why Eddie Hearn should be outshining you as far as restoring integrity back into the sport, brother. There's no reason for that. There is no reason for that. There's no and Eddie Hearn he most definitely has, you know, he has shit to do as well as far as cleaning up his side of the street. Ain't no way Golovkin should be waiting to the end of the year to get a fight. No, fuck no. We can't get him in the ring. We can't get Andre in the ring with Charlo. Your ass is getting in the ring. There's no reason why motherfucking Gary Russell Jr. and Leo Santa Cruz should be having all these belts, and Leo Santa Cruz ain't fought in a division in years, and Gary Russell he goes wild and active in spurts. Like, come on, man. Like, and no, y'all don't care about none of this because, once again, it's a black man running the operation. Nobody, y'all don't give a fuck about that shit. Y'all don't give a fuck about nothing. All y'all see is it's a brother running the show, and that is enough for y'all. Despite the fact that it's detrimental to the greater good of the sport. Y'all don't care about none of that shit. I don't give a fuck about none of that shit. And who is anyway for you to criticize Al Heyman? You either a self-hating coon or a racist white man, no, or a racist Latino, no. You same ass niggas still ain't said shit about him having that bigoted ass woman on the judging panel. I've heard no backlash from that. Like, come on, man, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? That shit is corny that y'all would bring up some shit that happened with B-Hop, or not even with B-Hop, but just the company that he works for. Y'all will bring that up as it pertains to, you know, Al Heyman. Or now he just has to, he has a vendetta against Al Heyman. Whatever y'all narrative it is y'all trying to spin. That shit is corny. Exaggerate the truth out of any situation and discard the rest of the bullshit. Jeet Kune Do shit. Keep what works, throw away what's useless. Bruce Lee taught y'all that. You can be, you know, you can have your reserves of an individual and be critical of a motherfucker, but still recognize the truth that he's presented to you in certain environments, in certain scenarios. There's nothing falsified about what he's saying. He's one of the greatest fighters to ever lace up a pair of gloves. Fuck middleweight, one of the greatest ever to ever lace them up. And he's still very much so involved he's intimately involved in the business. And you don't think he knows a thing or two about this shit? You don't think he has connections on the inside to a motherfucker like what's going on? You don't think he know what's up? You dudes are some goofies. Just bozos, man. And I've just, this is disgusting how y'all niggas act over these PBC niggas. It is disgusting. Y'all don't get that. Y'all don't get that type of love to no other black man if he's not on the PBC. But y'all stay on y'all knees for these PBC niggas, bro. And it's like, yo, it's horrendous looking at listening to a lot of you dudes. It's horrendous reading these comments on these threads and listening to you fuck ass niggas. We gotta stay on code. We gotta stay on code. This is not codification, G. It's not. It's not. It's I'm sorry, but it's not. Being pro Wilder is not a sign of being codified. It is not. Y'all niggas need to get y'all fucking minds right, man. Y'all need to get y'all minds right, because y'all sound dumb. Dumb as fuck. Oh my fucking God, dude. Ugh. You niggas disgust me, man. I'm out.